there if we want it.
You got my OnlyFans on there?
Or my underfans? Oh, are we live? We live.
Ignorant.
What you buttoning that?
I'm wholesome.
You are what?
Wholesome. I'm wholesome. HOSOME.
Wholesome. HOSUM.
I'm H. Yeah, I'm wholesome.
Welcome.
I think I'm finally rolling on Instagram, y'all.
What?
Is it finally working?
I don't know. She be saying that.
It don't
No,
never be
I
working.
can see people are on it.
Let me see.
Hey,
Y'all
people
got no
on
faith in
Instagram.
me. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all.
She's
faith
on the
and trust
gram.
What's up, little cuz? My boy D. My boy D. Hey y'all.
We got it
Oh,
right.
y'all can see
Hey
people
Jerlo.
Only took
talking.
us
I
to
feel like I don't
November.
see nobody.
Only took us to November.
I know,
Sorry,
right?
it's
I don't
October.
think we on Facebook, y'all. Are we on Facebook? Oh yeah, we on the Facebook.
You know what? Let me have my Keita go check Facebook for me and see if we can see this page. Please.
You on both my grams. Hey, Gram. What's up?
Finally.
I don't know what you did, but you did it.
That's what they say.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. This is a proud moment.
Aw,
Proud moment.
proud. See what's next. All right, y'all. We're just we have our little banter in the beginning just to kind of let things cycle through and all the technology kind of do its thing and pick up where it needs to be. And we're a little old, so we still be trying to figure stuff
Whoa.
out. Me, shit, I'm shoot. If you don't want to, I will. The way these gray hairs, when I tell you, if I could count the
Listen,
number of gray hairs that I've gotten in what's this year, 2024, I have always
the
prided
gray is
myself
gray.
on like, hey, it's been a very low count for years, like very low. I'm the only one in my family that's got mostly black hair. And God was like, this year, he was like, no, G, seems like it's over with.
It's time.
I
It's
can't
over.
wait to
It
get a
is
streak.
time.
Give me a streak.
That's what I want. Right. See,
It'll
me
never
too.
come like you want it. I'll
Right,
sexy.
right here.
Patches.
And then like my hair changes colors before it turns gray. Um, Obviously
Blonde.
my hair is black. It turns red. It turns red.
Mm.
Um, and I'm like, what is this? They be like, your people, the ancestors coming out.
Well, I got them. I've had them. I've had gray hairs though for
I think you've
forever.
had
Like
gray hair
right
since I've
here
known
in the
you.
yeah, like right here. Now it's starting to come out in my face.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna say starting to come out of my face. It's been coming out of my face the last several years. You know, but temple area, this whole temple area
Yeah, my temples are
is
heavy.
correct. Yeah.
In the edges.
Hmm. Yeah.
Welcome, you guys. Welcome, you
Then you
guys,
get
to
a
the
few
show.
strands. Oh, that's probably too personal. Oh.
Do, 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 do. Welcome, you guys, to the show where we clearly talk about everything under the sun that deals with life, lifestyles, relationships, peace, love, and all things in between. Um, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been here, since we've been in the mix. I think our last show was in August, and September was wild, and we're at the end of October. So before I go too far, I got my pink shirt on, breast cancer awareness. Um, Salute to all of those who have journeyed through that. Um, uh, Many blessings to those who didn't, were not able to survive their journey.
Mm.
Um, and also, there's another awareness this month: depression.
Depression
Domestic violence.
awareness and
Dom-
screening.
Domestic violence.
Both of them, right? Okay, I was thinking both. I thought I was wrong, but it is both. Okay,
Yeah,
Domestic Violence Awareness Month and Depression Awareness and
and
Screening Month.
screening.
Okay, and
It
this,
was a
Is it
week.
anti-bullying month too? Was that next one?
now you know these better than we both
Right.
do.
I'm sleepy.
And it's uh, clergy appreciation, pastor appreciation month. If you're spiritual, if you go to church, I might have a preacher on the screen, I might not, but um, we just gonna say salute, salute, salute,
Yeah,
salute.
it's also bullying prevention month.
Man, I'm all of those except for the breast cancer. I'm depression, I'm the preacher, and I'm the bully. Good God Almighty, I done made three of them.
I mean, you got breasts.
I do, and men do get breast cancer.
They do, Richard Roundtree.
Yeah,
Richard Roundtree. But if you have not gotten checked, the ladies and gentlemen, go get checked. Go get checked. There's no time like the present. I have my appointment actually this Saturday coming up.
I had my appointment 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
wonder how they check for men, like because ladies they do mammograms, right? So they
Baby.
press in.
But I believe for you guys, it's probably much easier to detect because we have so much more fluffage going
Yeah,
on. Whereas, like,
fluffage.
if you guys have, you'll be able to easier to see or feel a lump, I would presume.
Hmm.
I guess okay,
My boy is on here. What's up, Bishop B?
that makes sense.
So
So you do
every now
got
and
breast.
again when you had time, go on and feel on your breast. Fellas, go on and
Not right now. Not right now.
rub yourself up and down and
Not right
see
now.
if you feel anything more than your areola or your pectoral muscles. Go see now. Don't play, don't play.
But not right now.
You gotta tell
He
me.
was
You know,
ready.
I ain't got much
What's going on,
shame. I ain't got
everybody
much
on
shame.
Instagram?
I'm
So
transparent.
after several months of trying to figure out what to do, and they think that I'm the media, the technical person. I'm really not,
Media guru.
because she gives me too much credit, and I've been told her this like two, three,
No,
4 years.
I was just manifesting.
And I appreciate you, and you've always done that for me.
And now
However,
you're there.
it took how many long months for me to
Uh,
figure out how to go to
10.
Instagram Live, right? So when I right. So when I used to do my Instagram lives before, I would just do it directly from my phone. But now they got me using this fancy stuff on StreamYard, so we're just trying to make it work. And it is working, and I'm grateful. And this might encourage me to, jump down and do a little more. So this is dope. This is dope. So I'm clicking back and forth to make sure I speak to the people. Y'all got me rehashing some things I used to do a few years ago. But the only thing
You
about
still got
this,
to wave when you live. You got to wave.
I used to wave.
Do you have to wave? You got to hit the wave button. Is that still there? No. Okay.
No, no, not on it. Not on. Well, let me look. Hold on. Look, while you playing, let me. You know what? Let me stop because I don't want to mess nothing up. I'll dive more into it. I'll play with it when we get off. But Instagram, the only thing about this Instagram Live, it only gives you an hour. So I've used.
Mm-hmm. You just got to log back in.
It does
Six
not show me
minutes.
how much I've used.
6 minutes.
5, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh you on. So I'm gonna proceed. It is my privilege, it is my honor to be back with the homies, to be back with my geniuses. These are definitely two of my favorite people in the whole wide world. They personally keep me you're so stupid. They definitely keep me grounded. They keep me rooted. I don't even think they really know how much they do, but they do, and they have for years. And I'm super grateful just to kind of be in the number and in the mix with them. We have LeAnzar Stockley. He is a relationality specialist, and a wonderful artist, a master of many trades. I'm not going to call him a jack. He's a master of many trades. He's an author. He's a father. He's a partner. He's a son. He's a brother. He's a cousin. He's a friend. Um, and he is a man who speaks like from his heart every single time. Vulnerability. If I had to look up vulnerability in the dictionary, it would be his name. It would be his face.
Hmm.
And I'm grateful for that because you don't see that with too many of our men, especially men of color. So I'm grateful that you just, even when it's the toughest of times, you're still able to do that and be that. And if only more, especially brothers, could see that, and even women can see that and embrace that, and maybe even think that it's sexy instead of being weak. Because I think
Yeah.
it's sexy. You know,
Exactly.
LeAnzar
Hey,
Stockley. Bim, 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 bim. I don't have the sound effects, bim, bim, but that's what I got for you.
hey, said
They,
sexy. I received that. I
they look at
received.
look, y'all see them?
I received that.
I can't. I can't. And I'm not. I can't and I'm not. We also have I'm gonna keep going.
Oh,
Oh,
child.
right. This is what happened though when we let 2 months pass, damn near, right?
Yeah.
Um, we also have the talented, the phenomenal, the beautiful, the sugar honey smacks, Angel Simmons, author, friend, poet, model, queen. Ooh, we phenomenal daughter. She loved this girl, love her mama. Ooh, we she loves her mama. Mama's girl in the dictionary, in the same dictionary that I'm looking for Mr. Stockley. Mama's girl is gonna be her.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. I'm
Tell
telling
you
you
what
what
I
I've
know.
seen. Loves her mama. And she's a good baker. But you didn't hear that from me. But she can bake.
Hmm.
Phew. Author, friend, Angel Simmons.
Come
Make
on,
sure you
shake and
guys
bake.
shake and bake. Pew, 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 pew. Make sure you guys check them out. They have their own websites because they're famous. I don't have a website. But if you want to catch up with them, if you want to book them, if you want to buy from them, if you want to support them, angelsimmons.com, leanzerstockley.com. Simple as that. If you
Or if
want
you
to,
want to buy them.
if you want, I said that. Didn't I
I'm not
say?
for
No,
sale.
you said buy from them.
I'm not for sale.
Oh, oh,
Or if you want to buy, I am. You know how much these groceries cost?
now, now, he ain't lying.
I'm gonna lay
Price,
down.
price is right. I'm going. I'm
I'm just
sorry.
lay down.
I'm I
He ain't
can't
lying.
The
go in the bush
weight
and
is
just
too
weep.
heavy.
I'm going to a bush and weep.
I'm just
But
lay
the
down.
I'm just gonna lay down.
My boy Too Tall is on here. What's going on? He's
What's
an
up, too
excellent chef.
tall?
He's an excellent chef and an excellent photographer as well. So many traits, so many
Who's
characteristics.
that? Photographer, you
Um,
said?
Too Tall, my boy, he's on Instagram.
Oh,
He
okay.
worked an event for me a couple of weeks ago, but he's definitely one of my babies, big
I'm
time.
looking for a new one. Okay.
All right, I got you. We'll make it work. Oh Lord, I done pressed the button.
Uh-oh, what you do? What you
Uncle
done?
Mike, hey Uncle Mike. So my issue is when I'm connected to the world, that if I don't speak to people, they get pissed. So I have to
Oh,
make sure I speak, especially Uncle Mike. Hey
what's up,
Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike?
Um, I'm gonna leave this alone now because it's showing me an error. But I'll just continue on here. I am Bryson Williams. I'm kind of like a moderator, narrator, host kind of thing. You can follow me at the original Bryson. Um, Sweet Spot Media, you can follow me there, but you'll never see me there. You'll see me on the original Bryson. You can catch me in my stories. But what we do with the show, we talk about everything under the sun. And now that we've allowed everybody to kind of come in and get situated, I do want to get started because I do value the time of the good people and the good saints and the good ain'ts. Um, they are both amazing lights, Brandon. You ain't tell the truth now.
Oh,
Tell the truth.
thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Very much so. I value them tremendously, and I value you as well, brother.
I'm a black light. I can
Okay,
see
black
stuff folk
light.
don't want to see.
So let me ask you this, and we usually take a moment to kind of catch up and what's been going on, but I know we're a little short on time uh, today. This is why food would be because he got time. Time. Um,
And that's where you came in.
right, right. But I want to know when you think about Al Green, what's when you say when they say Al Green, right? Al Green, the singer, the preacher. Um, what song do you think of?
What's going on? Is that Al Green?
No,
Don't get
Ooh,
me in trouble out here.
no, it's not.
What's the Al Green song?
Mm.
Because I know it. Sing it. I know it.
I'm not sure you do because you just gave. I mean, Marvin Gaye is a genius, but you just
Oh,
gave
that's right.
prop. But I said Al Green. I said Al Green on purpose.
You said Al Green. First thing I thought about was hot grits.
Hot grits, right? Right. You think about hot grits. Al Green, he had an
So,
issue with his woman, and they was into it,
about
and
hot grits.
she
She threw
waited
some
till her
hot
brother
grits.
was laying down, and she covered him, blessed him in some grits.
You look
Leanne,
you look disturbed. You didn't know that story. What?
Hmm.
We call him Al
that's a true
Grits.
story.
You didn't know that story?
I believe it. I believe it.
Now, we had vinyl in my family. So my mama had
I'm
an
so
album somewhere.
tired of being alone.
There you go.
I'm
Good
so
job.
tired.
She had whatever album where he ain't got no shirt on
Yes,
that was
I
in
know
the house.
exactly what you're talking about.
She had that album on vinyl. I remember that. But
I
yeah,
remember what you're talking about.
my
So
mind
for me,
goes straight to grits though.
I think of the jams, Love and Happiness, the staples, right? I think of the Simply Beautiful. That's a jam. He killed that song. But like what's been resonating lately for me is the joint. He actually remade this joint. It was How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Um, and songs or phrases or maybe even TV shows or whatever from when you're knee high to a duck when you're a kid, right? But it's always when you get to a certain age in life, it kind of smacks you in the face, and you hear it or you watch it or you see it or you're a part of it or whatever the case may be, in a different capacity. All of a sudden that you're not even ready for, right? That you don't even expect, and it smacks you in the face, and you're like, what the what? Right? How do you mend a broken heart? Uncle Mike, I wasn't putting you out there like that. I'm just telling you I love you. I said I wasn't going back to this screen. I appreciate your support, Uncle Mike. See, I got in trouble. With y'all. Y'all tell Uncle Mike hi, please.
I
Hey,
think I
Uncle
said,
Mike.
"What's up, Michael? Uncle Mike?" When he came
My
in, I
favorite
said,
uncle is Uncle Mike too.
Shoot.
I got a favorite Uncle Mike.
Now I gotta watch my back. And he don't even live here, but I still gotta watch my back.
"I know that's right."
But the song How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Is that possible?
Hmm.
Is that possible? How do you love through the pain? Right?
Oh, why you in my business? Go ahead. Yeah,
You okay?
yeah.
Okay. You look okay. Oh, face. But for real, how can you mend a broken heart? How do you love through the pain, right? How do you love still? How do you love unconditionally, right? Where it's warranted, right? Where it's warranted, of course. Um, how do we do that? We see so many, and this could be intimate relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
This could
What is
be
it?
uh you know familial relationships, right? This could be friendship relationships. This could be work relationships. Maybe you're living in your purpose and your dream and your calling, but it's still tough. So you're in love with the job that you do. You're in love with your calling. You embrace that, but it's going to be some heartaches and some pain, right? So how do you love and how do you live through that? That is my big, big, big question. How do you not bring the past into the present? You know, how do you move forward? How do you just respond and act accordingly with a broken heart?
Mm-hmm.
How is that broken heart mended? How is it sewed? How is it healed? And how do you still present your best self through that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Help.
Ooh, you went in there today.
And you're right. I don't know.
You went in there today.
I
You
think
went in
your
there.
line of questioning, um, is
Is it interrogation? Is that what you're saying? Her line of
first of all, I
questioning is in.
feel attacked. That's
Oh
first.
no, not attack.
Because I ain't no expert. We know things, but I think most of the answers we have found in love and life has just been as we keep living.
Hmm.
If I knew how to mend a broken heart, I still wouldn't get pissed off about stuff I think about that happened 10 and 20 years ago.
Hmm.
If I knew how to mend a broken heart, things wouldn't affect me like they affect me on a daily basis. Um, I really think part of that process is time. It's also having a safe space to land when we are broken,
Hmm.
being vulnerable and having a place to put that is critical when our hearts are in critical condition. So if it was a romantic break, then yeah, we need a friendship to land on or a familiar relationship to land on. If it was
Mhm.
a friendship break, we need a romantic space to land on or a familiar space to land on. Something else has to step in. If it was a familiar break, we need those other two. So it's important to have those different degrees of relationship so that we have soft spaces when we need to retreat.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because none of us know what we're doing. And
Hmm.
as soon as we think we've mastered it, we're broke again.
Hmm.
Right. Right. So do you find it hard to manage or to cultivate those relationships that have been good to you while you're toiling through whatever type of relationship that has not been as pleasing to you?
I do when they change because the older we get and the more life's our status, even in our friendships and our familiar spaces, they keep changing, they evolve. Sometimes they unravel because life is unraveling. And we have to change. If when you have to change your safe space, you don't feel safe. You really don't.
So now it's like it's kind of like a double whammy, right? I feel that. That's really real. Or maybe you have the friends who are there for you, when it's convenient, right? Or, everybody is not able to establish, that balance,
Right.
um, where they can live their life and still be present. And it's a lot because it's tough being an empath, right? We all know that.
Mm.
But how do you healthily balance that and have, those good boundaries, but yet those good connections with your people? Because I'm asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. I do think, and the reason I said that this is a heavy line of whatever, because this is, you're in, I didn't ask the question that way, but it's like you're in just a lot of space that I've been in the last several months, in that thing of, how do you love through the pain? How do you, whatever, all those things. And I guess there's so many different ways to kind of address that. I've even had to come to a place of trying to find my own approach. And I'm saying my own approach, but it's not really my own approach. An unconventional approach,
Hmm.
meaning something beyond what you might just see if you Googled it. Because those things a lot of times are still coming from the same mind that broke the heart. I'm even seeing sometimes even in therapy, and broke or aching, because sometimes it's like, depending, it can be semantics, but sometimes how we speak about it is like, is my heart broken or is it just really in deep pain, and I'm really aching, because something in me when I feel pain lets me know that I'm still activated and working the way I'm supposed to be
Because
working,
you're still feeling, right?
because I'm still feeling it, right? And so it's like something is still online, but that heart is aching, broken, heavy, whatever we call it, through that. And I haven't mastered it, obviously. I'm still trying to figure it out. And even when you talk about the pieces of the friends, or like Angel was saying, that safe place to land, because that would be my first thought is support, 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 whatever support looks like for us in those moments, and not support with people that's just trying to further harden our heart. Because a lot of times even when you go to your friends, if it's a breakup, if it's a what I see right now in our society is we automatically turn everybody in. Say for instance, your heart is broken because of somebody. It doesn't help to me that now we turn the person that broke your heart into the enemy.
Mm.
And that's what most people do. You don't need them no way. You didn't need, and what we don't realize is that's not healing the broken heart. That's hardening the broken heart. And so a lot of times that to me is not necessarily support. That to me is you getting a bunch of people that's telling you that who you loved and how you loved was wrong.
Mm.
And so it's hard to go to our friends because everybody wants you to feel better. And so when you get in my experience has been when you come to a place where everybody really just wants you to feel better, they're saying things that just make you feel better, to try to make you feel better, not heal better. And there's a difference between feeling better and healing better.
Sure.
And so it's really trying to be in the support, finding those landing spaces that is a supportive space that is designed to keep your heart working the way your heart was designed to work, not the spaces that keep your heart guarded or protected, and it shuts it off from, that creates a sense of isolation. But it is hard. It's a double whammy because I'm supposed to stay open because, even when you say that, just even the terminology that y'all have used so far,
Mhm.
all of this is really about staying open. It's when we close the heart and shut the heart down that it really becomes broken,
Mhm.
that it is now no longer functioning the way that it was designed to function. But you're also afraid. You're scared. It's like I don't trust. And if the person that I loved, for conversation purposes, the person that I love the most hurt me, what would these people that I don't necessarily think love me the most, even though they may love you in big, so I'm not using it in that way.
Right, right.
Then how do I, trust? So you got the trust issue going on there. You have the I'm hurting issue going on there. You have the potential to isolate issue going on there. But all of those issues that we're talking about that come from the broken heart are actually how we heal the broken heart. Like the what was the word, antidote, or the whatever to the,
Mhm.
is actually how we heal the broken heart. We think we heal the broken heart through isolation, but you really heal the broken heart through connection. Well, but I've already been connected and I got hurt, but that's also how you heal it. The very things that break us, if we look at it, that's the very thing, when we flip it on its head, is what heals us.
That heals us. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the other morning, Bryson, I was up and doing my little communion time, and I've been having to have a lot more concentrated. Y'all already know that I live in communion with God, so it's not like I just have an isolated time where I'm sitting in prayer. But because of what I'm feeling lately and the heaviness of it, and because of what I'm battling, I told you I'm trying to guard my heart and my mind. I'm having to have more ritualistic moments, where I'm specifically like, hey, this is my prayer time. Let me sit in the middle of my floor. Let me sit in my prayer, whatever, sit on my little thing and do what I got to do. But I was sitting and thinking about some of these things, and God kind of took me even to scripture and just was piecing, the spirit of a man will sustain him in his infirmities, but a wounded spirit who can bear. And I was like, God, I'm feeling like my spirit is wounded, or what do we do when we feel like our spirit is wounded, and, it was so interesting. The words that came to me is not popular, and most people probably will reject it. But the way we heal our broken hearts is through reconciliation. That's always now, when I say reconciliation, I'm not just talking about with that person that we broke our hearts, that had our heart, but it's through connection. Reconciliation just means it's connection. It's in oneness. It's in wholeness. It's
Hmm.
restoring harmony. That's true healing.
Hmm.
There's some things that I think we're settling for that's pseudo healing. There's some things that is a form of godliness, but it's really truly denying the true power thereof.
Hmm.
And so we tend to, when we're hurting, we ball up. But the truth is, we're supposed to open up. And it's like you said, it's a double whammy, because it's the caveat, it's that catch-22, because like, you want me to do this in the midst of somebody just took my heart and stumped that sucker flat? you know, and it's like it doesn't change that that's actually how we heal though. And again, I'm not saying don't take your time for yourself and pull back and do what we need to do, but it's through reconnection. The word healing means return to wholeness.
Hmm.
And so then the question becomes, are we returning to wholeness or are we staying fragmented? When something has happened to us and we've experienced these heartaches, these traumas, because that's what they are, or these post-traumatic stressors, when we feel them, we go into that isolation and stuff. And we have to really try not to isolate in those moments. So Angel hit it right on the head with that. It's support, support, support. But if support is one of the ways that we heal our broken heart, then that means that we need to have some conversation. This is why I do the friendship retreats and stuff like that. There needs to be some conversations that strengthen our support system. If one another is actually the way we heal, we need to have some conversations about what it means to really be the one another. We just keep praying, God, give me strength to get through this. The way I'm telling you, the way I got this the other day, it slapped me in my face. God, give me strength. And we're looking for strength in solo isolation as an individual. And
And
God
it
is saying,
needs to be in community.
community.
That's
Yeah.
wild. You just
There's
like you just brought together a whole word that I had yesterday, and you just sewed that whole thing together low key right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a
So,
post I shared in my stories a couple of days ago. Somebody was interviewing the author of The Body Keeps Score, very similar to the conversation LeAnzar was just having. When you have a trauma in your body, you have to have the contradicting emotion to help to heal that trauma. So if
yep.
you were, if the break, talk about whatever the break is, if the break was lack of communication, you need
Need
communication.
communication.
If it was lack of touch, you need touch. If it was lack of support, you need support. If it was, a physical ailment, you need physical assistance, and whatever
Mhm.
that is, and healing. So it's the opposite that you're looking for, or it's the contradicting thing. So whatever you're missing, that's the thing that you need to help you heal. So if I was missing, feeling validated or valued in my relationship, that is what I need to heal.
Mhm.
It needs to come from somewhere else. Even if it doesn't come from that relationship, or that relationship has been broken, it needs to come from somewhere else. I need that exact thing. So it makes no sense to think about how we isolate ourselves. I've called you 3 times, you're not answering the phone. I ain't gonna call you no more. I ain't calling nobody. I'm cutting my phone off. I don't want to talk to nobody. No, you need to be talking to somebody, because that you were trying to reach out for communication. That's what you wanted, so you need communication. So, but we sometimes it's so literal that it goes over our head.
Mm-hmm.
If you were missing human touch,
Mm-hmm.
this is what you need: human touch. It doesn't have to be sexual touch, but if that's
Right.
what you're missing,
Mm-hmm.
this is what you need. You aren't getting it. You've been starved, and we've been starved from so many things for so long that we've hardened our hearts against what we need, because it makes us feel weak. It
And
makes us
normalize.
feel um, like a dependent. We're dependent because we don't see interdependence as successful, healthy, necessary contact.
Yeah.
We see dependence on somebody,
Mhm.
as a liability, versus this is how we grow
As a
and
prescription for
move
healing.
and develop and heal.
That's really how we thrive. That is our code for thriving. That interdependence. Everybody think that this is about, you go from dependence to in. So that middle phase that we're calling independence is really just in the stages of development, is where you find autonomy. So you go from this child that's dependent on everything from every parents, whatever, to that middle phase, which we call so you go from dependent to independent to interdependent. That's the ultimate, reality of it. But that middle independent phase is really just about finding your sense of autonomy, your sense of self, so that you can contribute to something bigger than you. But our society is driven right now, and it's like, people think I'll just be soapboxing or whatever you want to call it with it, or just overkilling with it. But it's like, this is why everything that I'm talking about is relationality. This is why everything that I say is about us being together, because that is our prescription. I don't know if some of y'all saw that a few weeks ago. I posted that 60% of our mental health diagnoses come from a relational breach. And if you count the small little relational dynamics that nobody really includes, that number jumps to 75 to 80% of our mental illnesses come from a relational breach. So, like you're saying, Angel, if
Yo, that's deep.
if your therapist will take you to the breach, that's why they say let's go to the childhood, whatever, right? Everybody going to childhood. Now, some of this stuff is adulthood trauma too,
Right.
but it's like you go to the breach, but they don't tell you that the healing is not just in you figuring out what the breach was. We have to become, and this is how my conversation with God was going today, repairers of the breach. And so, how do I repair the breach? There's a bigger conversation for, and I don't care what the depressions and all these other things. There's a bigger, our relationships are more important than what we're giving it credit to. And I understand why we don't give it that credit. Like you just said, Angel, because they're viewed as a liability now. And so now I'm spending my energy trying to survive Brysen instead of thrive with Brysen. And I'm telling you, what we're looking at is more people surviving than what we're looking at as far as people thriving. Because to thrive, we are designed as highly, highly, highly social and community-based beings. And so when we have broken relationships, that's what's hurting us. Like you said, if the thing is, and all of us have experienced this, if my pain is coming from conditional love, because that's what it is, baby. I need unconditional love to heal it. And so we have to tap into an essence that, like when I'm saying I am love for you, this ain't about just I feel good about everything every day and this mushy whatever. It's me really looking at how I reflect the divine and me embodying from my spirit who and what I really am. How am I healing my own broken heart? Having to look at this right now. I'm having to learn how to, because the traditional things have not been helping me, how to hold what's true, meaning the circumstances of what's going on, this breakup, this heaviness of the world, all of this division, alongside, not even versus, how to hold what's true alongside the truth, love, compassion, kindness, goodness, patience. That's been my battle. That's been my struggle, is because like I feel this pain, but I can't afford technically to close up, because if I close up, that's only going to beget more pain. That's only be individually and collectively. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like it's such a hard, like y'all saying, it's such a hard space, because to truly heal for real, I need you. I know that's unpopular. I'm not saying that takes away my own responsibility, but it's like, but I also need that I need that community. I need somewhere where there to be reconciliation actually happening. Otherwise, I'm just getting enough healing to survive
and not thrive.
And not thrive.
Right.
And so this whole thing, God, give me the strength to get through this. I promise you, I think God looks down and says, I cried the other, Angel, I think me and you might have talked about this, but I was crying a few weeks ago, and I was like, nobody's coming for me. I said, nobody's coming for me. And as soon as I'm getting it out of my mouth, I heard Holy Spirit said, you're right, nobody's coming for you, because they're already there. Doesn't mean that they're aligned.
It doesn't mean they know.
People are people's answers to people's problems. We are not a plan B, y'all. Like we said that before, right? I think we're not plan B. When God created Eve, the helper, the Ezer Kenegdo, you know, we've explained it before, so I don't have to go through it again. But that word literally translated as lifesaver. And we'll say in a minute, I'm not your savior. Well, no, okay, you're not the savior, but you are a saver. And
a saver versus the savior.
Versus the savior, you are a saver. This is what we were created for. And so those relationships are important. But again, like you said, if one of the first lines of healing the broken heart is support, we have to have some conversations And not just conversations. I'm sick of conversations. The conversations are turning us to something, and we need to go ahead and be in repentance of it. And so make that shift. But we have to have some conversations with our support systems so that our support systems are actually being effective in what they are. But I really think our healing comes from actually being in community. It's when we're healed, meaning when we've returned to wholeness, that we find strength, stability, and all of the things that we need. This is why that ministry really is reconciliation. This is why I'm getting so disgusted with messaging that I see in, it's not just in the church, but messaging that I see in spiritual communities as well as in secular societal communities. Everybody's preaching division and individuality. And it's that thing playing itself out in the last days. Men will be lovers of themselves. The love yourself message is beautiful. It's not that it's not the truth, but really the heart of that just means include yourself in the love that exists. It's not about go off in your corner and just love yourself. It's about including yourself in the love that really exists. But the undertone of most of these messages, listen to them very closely. They're preaching and teaching and pushing separation and division. And so we justify the breakups. Everybody's trying to seek their own happiness. Well, look what that's getting us. The moment we in the pursuit of happiness, we commit a crime against somebody else. We break somebody else's heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that support is a big one.
And you sent me something the other day, or today, or maybe yesterday, like within the past few days, I think, you know, and the sister was like, "Man, I don't want my heart to be hardened."
Oh, I
When I
reposted.
told you that laid me out,
Yeah.
like I watched it a few times, and then I'm not gonna front, you know, I denied it. You know what I mean? I walked away from it, but it was resonating so hard and so badly, and like that's like an earnest plea. I do not want my heart to be hardened.
That's been my
And
cry.
that's one of the most difficult things ever, right? Maintaining who you are, maintaining your authentic self, maintaining, you know, who the divine has designed for you to be through all the BS.
That's and see, Bright, you going into like this is a really, I almost feel like we got to have church. Like it's a deep conversation because again, some of the pieces that went to what I was saying is like that whole not hardening our hearts. We're all affected. We think there's a scripture that says, because sin abound, when sin abounds, the love of many will wax cold. And we've taken that in years. I started studying that scripture. Do you know that that's not just the love of the person that's committing the iniquity? It affects the hearts of people who, not the ones that's committing the iniquity, even the ones that are around it, because we start to feel hopeless.
Mhm.
Where can I look? Where can I turn? Besides just God. Because, yeah, it's good to turn to God, but I'm supposed to be able to still find God in you.
Right.
And so it said, because of sin would abound, the love of many will wax cold, or because iniquity would abound, the love of many would begin to wax cold. And that iniquity is not just somebody that's missing the mark, somebody that messed up in our relationship. This is things where people are intentionally doing this stuff and intentionally unwilling to change. That weighs on us as communal beings. It weighs on us because I need Angel's energy of love. Angel needs my energy of love. But when we all start shutting down in the name of protecting ourselves,
Ain't nobody got no energy.
nobody's receiving any of it. It's all stuck and locked within us. It's all stuck with it, or seemingly stuck with us, because if I shut down my love, I've just stopped loving. Believe it or not, saying that I'm loving myself, but am I really? Because my true self is a communal being. But if I put myself in isolation, not solitude, different than solitude when I'm needing to replenish. But if I put myself in isolation, I just now cut off a part of my nature, which is that socialization. So how do I heal this broken heart if I'm cutting myself off from the very things that's actually going to mend it? If I stay in, or if I'm the person that's committing the iniquities, that's causing the love of many to wax cold, How many of us been in relationships and you were willing to love again, but then you got with somebody and they did the same thing the last person did, and then
Okay.
so then you finally started just saying, you know what, fine. I can't go to my family always, whatever. My friends always, whatever. My lovers always, whatever. Fine. I'm just not gonna do this anymore. The love of many begins to wax cold, and so we have to redeem that. That's where I was saying that whole thing of being repairers of the breach. What does that look like? That
Mhm.
looks like Brysen, Angel, Czar, Pierre, Brandon, all these people that's on this live with us. It looks like us doing our personal work to always keep our hearts open and to learn the skills we need to learn, to be who we were designed to be, so that because we contribute to something much bigger than ourselves. It's not a luxury that you're not doing your work to be the best version of yourself, Bryson, just for you. You weren't designed just for you.
Right.
But that's how it's all taught. Because here's the truth of it is, yeah, nobody else can do your work but
But
you.
it's not for me. It's
But
for
it's not
the
for you.
community. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Woo wee, my cousin Craig Brown. Shout out to the folks on Instagram that's following my uncle Calvin, J Spot. She has an amazing show as well. And my cousin Craig said that the ones who are connected to the one committing the sin. Um,
We get affected by it, and
yeah.
sometimes infected by it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. I love when a good show comes together now. I love when a good show comes together, boys and girls. Good stuff.
You said boys and girls, and that's exactly who I was just thinking of. Because
Mhm.
when my heart starts changing, and my countenance starts changing, and I walk into my job, and my students are not receiving what they're used to receiving, the day changes, everything shifts. The staff is affected, the kids are affected, they go home and act crazy, their parents are affected. I'm sitting here thinking about how far that infection will spread
Hmm.
if I walk in that door and I'm not who I am.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down. Hands down.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, because sometimes you are the best thing that somebody experiences for that day because the rest of
Mhm.
their day is a living hell.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And what are they
Mhm.
going home to? Where do they come from in them
Mm.
classrooms? So I feel that you say girls and boys. That's exactly who I was thinking of, them girls and boys. And I
Mm.
try to
Yeah.
teach my staff the same thing. You know, we talk about leaving stuff outside of the building. When you walk in the door, you gotta be something else. No, I want you to be you when you walk
That's
in the door.
yeah.
Because that's who
Yeah.
I hired was you. Don't
Yeah.
be something else. Be you. Because that's what they need to see. Don't come in here phony, fake, and you know, fudging around. Come in here and be you, because that's who they need to see, so they can learn how to be them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we
My
passing down these masks, baby.
my cousin chimed in again on Instagram, and he's Pastor Brown out in the Portland area.
Hmm.
Um, he said a communal disease disease.
Yes.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Don't get him started.
Don't get me started on it, because
No,
I.
no.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There really has to, and I know, Bryson, this is broad. It's kind of broad, but it's not, because I think we're tracking with it. This whole how to heal broken hearts and whatever. I'm telling you, I just been being. I guess these things we've always known,
hmm
but we've been left to have to seek individual healing.
And it's so much more prevalent now, like I said, because we're getting older and things, just as the kids say, it hits different, right? Based on our experiences, based on our emotions, based on our feelings, it hits different. Something can resonate for years, right? But you have that particular experience that smacks you in the face and it smacks the hell out of you.
Yes,
And then here we are.
and here we are.
And I don't care what nobody say. The disease that happened with COVID was a different infection than we're talking about.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because part of that infection that came was the isolation and the independence and the seeking, whatever for yourself.
And
That
the fear of
thing,
each other.
and and the fear
I'm
of
a
each
kiss.
other. That's the real infection that came out of COVID, that came out of the pandemic, and we are still suffering. We're still feeling the weight of that. We're still isolating. We're still self-soothing and self-caring, and staying at home and away from people and wearing the mask without wearing the mask.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. I remember we chatted about that quite a while ago, Angel. I don't know if you remember that, but
Yeah, and
we
we're 4 years
yeah.
post
No, I remember that. Yeah.
pandemic, and we are still feeling the effects of being isolated and being scared to engage.
Which
Yeah.
was heartbreaking to me because I thought even during my biggest hope during that was that we would see that we would because we were all forced into it. I was hoping that our eyes would open and that coming out of it, you would find the willing. And
Eyes
not that
wide.
they're not that they don't exist. There are some people who are making these shifts, but that we would have the willingness because even in this we could talk about these kind of things, like you said, love when the show comes together. But who's willing?
To do the work.
Who's willing to actually make these shifts, to see this, to have this revelation in their heart, and then become the communities that helps individuals,
Do the
you
work.
know, to kind of heal through these kind of heartbreaks and things that we're feeling. It's just such a it's interesting to me because like in spiritual communities, it's so disheartening to me when I see messages that put us against each other instead of messages that bring us together. Because I'm like, ain't that the message? Whether you want to call, whether it's Christian or whether it's just spiritual, where it's all about interconnectedness. Where's all of this division
Right.
coming from? That's what's really breaking our hearts, you know. And so it's like in the midst of all of these kind of things, we're all growing. That scripture I was just telling you about the
Mm.
exactly that scripture I was just talking about. If you look at it in the Message Bible, where I said the because of the overwhelming the iniquity, the love of many will wax cold. Message Bible says like this: for many others, the overwhelming spread of evil will do them in. Nothing left of their love but mounds of ashes.
Dang.
The
Burnt
more
up.
this division that we're seeing
Yeah.
on all fronts, political,
Mm.
relational, uh, religious, spiritual, these are not helping us. It's doing us in. When you look everywhere and there's division everywhere on every side. And so then those who are the people who see this are getting weary in their well-doing, except that something else, grace, except for grace, or except they find a community, or except nothing but the grace of God. It's nothing but the grace of God that I ain't lost my mind now. Some of the reason I haven't lost my mind is because I'm still showing up. I told some of my clients, it's like, I know that some of the reason I haven't totally lost it. Now I done lost a lot of it, but I
Mm.
haven't totally lost it is because I'm still showing up with y'all.
Mm.
And I know when I told you all, I've said before, I was like, I'm trying to guard my Bryce. I think I was like, I'm trying to guard my heart and my mind. And you know what? And Fran, this is I got what you meant when you said it, but you was like, yeah, this is you got to self-care. And I was like, no, I'm tired of that. the self-care is part of the issue because everybody's having to become self-reliant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I do need to keep self-care. Like, don't get that wrong, but it's like, it's expanded self-care, what that looks like by actually saying, and thank you for you. It's like, say, hey, what can those people that say, hey, what can I do? Because they recognize this is a communal effort. And so one of the most undermined forms of self-care is actually reaching out to your people and saying, I need you. But not just reaching out and saying, I need you, because we've reached out and said, I need you during this heartbreak. I have had to say, I need you. However, wait, before you start talking to fix my problem, let's qualify what this need is.
Hmm.
I need emotional support. I don't need you to fix
Right.
my problem.
Right.
The other thing is, don't come in trying to advise me. I need you to hear my heart and receive my heart.
I need you to understand the assignment.
I need you to understand the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And don't cross the lane.
Don't cross the lane. I don't need if you're dealing with if Angel comes to me and says such and such did something to her. Now we're gonna kiki for a minute and I'm gonna be like, that punk, because you're gonna defend your friend. But that ain't where that ain't where I'm leaving, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm leaving you is, how's your heart?
Yeah.
Let's get off of them for a minute, because guess what? People are hurting you because they got their own things that they're trying to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
They got, and it's not to justify it, but it's just to be truthful. It's just to it's to be honest. Everybody's trying to find a way to soothe. And some people unfortunately are using in a negative way
Mm-hmm.
other people to try to get that soothing to happen. Right? But everybody's after this, everybody's trying to feel better. Everybody's trying to, we have this whole pursuit of happiness. Everybody trying to feel happiness. But that's not where I'm leaving, my friend. I remember sitting one time with I think it was my friend Tiffany and Chris. It was Tiffany and Chris. We went to Portillo's, Chris Michael. And I was going through something with somebody, the breakup thing. We laughed. They said, we can punch him, we can punch. But that ain't where the conversation ended. The conversation ended of, we know your heart, we know who you are, and how do you keep that thing working? What is your heart for this person? Like, because y'all know with me, there's usually a spiritual sensing of other things that are going on. And it's like, friend, we know you have to live in alignment with that. And it was like, that was a supportive conversation, because the conversation was about keeping my broken heart flowing and working the way that God designed it to work and flow.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else is either people just trying to give you a quick fix, trying to harden your heart to get you out the bed, and they're not trying to help you heal your heart. Their intentions are good.
Yeah.
But what's coming out is like, that's not really the support that's needed and necessary in this moment. That's
And
not actually real support. Go ahead, Angel, my bad.
no, because we keep coming back to support. Wherever we go, we keep coming back to that. And that, it's
Right, 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 right.
right. That
Just
part.
like that. Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
what's wild though is that my cousin just said on Instagram, sometimes other people's hope is in your presence because your presence is their present.
Yes.
You
Come,
know?
come
Right.
on, cousin.
Yeah,
Cousin.
yeah.
Yes.
Y'all
That's
probably
right.
need to
Their
connect to be honest.
presence, your presence is their present. You're right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and
No lie.
and a lot of people are self-soothing, especially if you are extremely empathic. People will soothe with us
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
the time because we know what to do. We know what to say. We know how to support. So they don't have to look for it. But unfortunately, for people like us, it is extremely difficult to find, again, those soft spaces to land when we really need to be repaired, be restored, be replenished, be refreshed. It's difficult. So identifying and being really honest with who we know our support is, identifying those supporters, being honest about what they can offer us, because you know your people and you know what you're gonna get back. I know if I call LeAnzar, we gonna kiki, and then he gonna ask me what are we doing? How are you doing? What's the next step? And how are you, receiving this? How are you processing it? He's gonna give me all of them clinical questions. I know that. If I call Brysen, I know it's going to be a deep conversation. I know it's going to be heavy. If I call some other people, I know what I'm going to get. And it ain't going to be that.
Yeah.
So in certain situations, we also have to, we are responsible. We're responsible for our hearts, right? We keep them. We have to be responsible in the support that we seek because we know what we're going to get. So,
Mhm.
yes, I need people. Yeah, I want to talk to people. Yeah, I'm reaching out to folks. But what is going to be the outcome of that conversation? Is it going to be a repair of the breach, or is it going to be some old coals in the fire?
Exactly. And that's what ends up happening. It's almost like you go and trust you go and put your vulnerability in the hands of somebody else that's going to further taint it, or that's going to further burn it, or that's going to
Mm-hmm.
further do some whatever. And I think the response, somebody asked me the other day, so am I responsible for you? And
You better be. No.
I said technically, this is not popular. I know nothing I say is popular, you all. I was like, well, kinda, yes. Like, that doesn't remove my own responsibility, that I have my own decisions, my own choices, at least on the human plane to this. We can talk spirit enlightened, we've reached nirvana, kind of whatever we wanted. But there's this aspect of the humanity of ourselves does have some duality. It has some feeling, and I believe we use the spirit of our being to speak to the human experience. And so to some degree, if we're highly communal beings, you are responsible for me to some degree, but now that may just be you authentically being you. Right. And so you making sure that you handle, when I bring you my heart, you handle it with care. You have been given a gift. We've been given a gift in one another. And I know sometimes folk ain't acting like that. And sometimes some people done hurt our heart. And sometimes but it's a matter of we really not remembering who we really truly are. And again, the reason that there's so much pushback to even these kind of conversations, of even me saying that we need each other, or me saying we're responsible for each other, or we say, is because it's the message of individualism. That's making us afraid to say. So now instead of interdependence, Angel, that's why everybody talking about they're codependent. Oh, it's codependence. It's codependence. It's codependence. It's codependence. Oh, you're being codependent.
So what
it
is accountability. And that's the cuss word that don't nobody want to say. Be accountable for your mess.
Oh, yeah.
And the part that you play in my mess.
Something else you said, Angel, too, that I think is important for us to realize is, so we got the support piece, but also something hugely important if we're going to heal that broken heart or heal that heart, be emotionally honest. We do have to really, truly be emotionally honest. Our society is wrapped around suppressing emotions. And especially if you're talking about between another person, we jump into pride so quick. I don't care whether it's a significant other or our cousin. We jump into pride when it comes to somebody. I ain't gonna let them know that they hurt me. I'm not talking about you got to go sit and have a conversation with them necessarily, but we do have to be emotionally honest about what's really happening with us. I am hurt. I feel confused. I feel like I want to go, I feel rage in me. I feel, it's like really being honest about what we're really feeling. We're trying to heal our hearts by suppressing our hearts. And we don't heal our hearts when we don't give our heart a voice to speak, to really, truly talk and process what's really happening within us. And so then we start looking and wondering where these mental disorders and mental illnesses, or the body, not even go mental, why the back pain, where's all of this, where these headaches,
absolutely.
Where's these headaches and stuff coming from? Maybe it's undelivered emotional communication.
Hands down.
Goes back to the body keeping the score, right?
Yeah.
But it also, even still, going back to being honest, and being honest with yourself and about your people, knowing what somebody else's capacity is.
Yeah,
I know there's some people that I call that do not have the capacity to handle the conversation that I want to have right now.
Yeah,
I need to hold on to that. If I don't have anybody that I know is on that level or alignment of support, I need to hold on to it and process it and take it to God and do whatever until I can get there. Not eat it and let it fester, but I need to find a place that can hold that space for me, because I need it to be held. But I know if I make this call, they don't have the capacity for that. And I think that's where a lot of our breaches have taken place, is because we haven't trusted people with our emotional being, and mental being and physical being, who never had the capacity to hold it.
Yeah.
Or you gotta know your personnel. That's one thing that we always used to tell the kids when I was coaching basketball. Know your personnel. Read the court, right? Read the room. You can't pass the ball to the center thinking that they're gonna do all these amazing jumpers, right? That's what your point guard does for the most part. So you got to read the room, know your personnel, know the floor, know the players in your game.
Yeah, I was saying, so that's the piece, and then the other part is, the part of not having that personnel, because it's like you look and you scrolling through the phone like this. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
And you gotta hold on to it.
Nope. Nope.
And this is where therapy comes in.
Therapy comes in there, but also I was just sharing with somebody the other day. I said I've been having some real conversations with a few people. Some of them are new people, but it's like been having some conversations with people to say we actually have to build that personnel. And so again, this is where somebody had asked me before, one time, like, oh, why friendship retreat? This is why. We can't just expect people to know You see this with grief. I see this with grief a lot in doing the grief recovery stuff. A lot of people say, I don't have this in my community. So then they have to go to the support groups on a group online with people that they don't even know, because they don't have it, or either they don't see it, or they genuinely don't have it. I mean, have you ever went to somebody you're grieving and the things that people say is just kind of like, God darn it. Then you turn to somebody else and somebody else and said it. Then you look to the preacher and he said it. And then it's like, oh, shoot, now I feel even worse. And so your community sometimes is uneducated. It's not that some people aren't willing to walk alongside us. It's that they're not educated on how. And so then as we learn how, then we become better able to be a community. Again, me becoming the best version of myself is not just for me. It's for Sir Isaac too. It's for Tiffany. It's for everybody. So we go and learn. It's the same thing in relationships. Oh, you're in a relationship with somebody that they don't have the capacity for whatever. We say they don't have the capacity. They don't have the skill. If they have the heart, they have the capacity. And so now, are they willing? I don't know. That's another story. We can, it's like we don't know until they say that they're willing to whatever. But you can learn the skills. Most of our relationships don't end because somebody didn't really have feelings for you. It ends, or it doesn't even end because they weren't compatible in the sense of the word compatible, how we use it. It was because they didn't have the skills to sustain it. We didn't have the skills to know how to navigate all of these things that are going on. I've seen sitting with people a lot, and that grieves me the most. I've seen some that's like, oh, y'all will never work as long as these are the mentalities. But I've seen some where it's like, I wish y'all were working because actually I see the love, but what's missing is the skills. Y'all don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to, or you're afraid to really say what's happening with you. You're afraid to really say what's going on with you. And so now you're in the energy in this relationship of fear. And I've been there, instead of in the energy of love. And so our only resolve, well, we're going to divorce. We're going to walk away from each other. And what our society does is we have normalized this so much. We say the divorce rate has been over 50% for so long. And do you know what we do? Yeah, that's just life. We say we've normalized it so much so that it's like, yeah, it doesn't even faze us. That's just life. Is it though? It's just what's just life, that people divorce? Or is it just life that we don't learn the skills necessary to sustain healthy, thriving relationships?
Come on, game face. That was that game face at the end. There was that game face at the end. You was like,
he dropped the mic.
Once again, I love when a good show just comes together. I just love when the program comes together.
The program.
The
program.
I love it.
Program.
We pick it back up. We're not gonna tarry long.
She said, pick it back
up. This was good. This was amazing, actually. This was amazing, and I'm glad that we were able to connect with people on different platforms and just kind of connect. This was super dope. Thank you guys always for your insight, for your sharing, for your vulnerability. Obviously, my geniuses on the panel, but also, the folks in the comment section. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for just chiming in, being willing to share, being willing to do the work, because that's where we are right now. We need to re-engage that, doing the work big time.
We really do. We need to reclaim.
It's essential, like for real.
We're in the redeem the times mode, but I don't know who. My question, looking at Tiffany's thing, wanting to sustain, and it's like, that's why I said, where's the willing?
Yeah,
we need willing. I think that post I did the other day, Brysen, I think it said, who's willing to love with me, or anyone willing to love with me. I mean, my heart is heavy with this stuff, man. Yeah, it's that willingness.
If you want more from my geniuses, follow them on their independent platforms. AngelSimmons.com, LeAnzar Stockley
Oh,
dot com. Get their books, right? This is not just for show. This is not just for face. This is for community, right? It all has a purpose. It all has, oh, what,
I was trying to be like Angel.
so follow them. They got this. Come on, come on. This is more than just today. It's more than just this moment, right? It extends way beyond. It extends way beyond. Make sure you check us out. We'll let you guys know when we have our next show. Right now, I think all of our platforms are still running, so I don't want to mess anything
Hey,
up. Come through, books. I know, right, Tiffany? Come through. So we're grateful. We're grateful that you're here. We will catch you all next time, man. Do the work. Have the willingness.
word. Do
Reclaim that time.
go repair a breach.
Repair. Remember,
Redeem the times.
reclaim, redeem, all of those things, all them aura words, all them auras, as the old people say, the boomers say,
Go
aura.
and be reconciled.
Reconcile, okay,
Go and be reconciled.
and go in peace.